It's a different Labour this time.
Imagine turning the page.
Well said, Keith.
The flights will go in July.
Oh,
We are now making progress.
That's nonsense.
You're the one that's calling the shots, idiot.
Now, let's get on.
Let's get on.
Tonight's debate. Keir Starmer, your opening statement, please.
Thank you very much. This election is all about a choice. More of the chaos and division we've seen for the last 14 years, or turning the page and rebuilding with Labour. I have ambition for our country and have a practical plan to deliver it. I've changed the Labour Party and put it back in the service of working people. Now I'm seeking your backing to change our country, to make it work once again for you and your family.
In Barrow, lifelong friends, Fran and Emma.
I think that Keir Starmer was quite powerful in that opening statement. I think there was clear vision.
And there was hope. There was a bit of hope.
So I'll keep this simple. In 5 weeks, either Keir Starmer or I will be Prime Minister.
A bit of red wine, we might as well treat ourselves.
In Scarborough, friends Nick and Kieran.
I have a clear plan for a more secure future.
It certainly comes across colder.
For you and your family.
Sounds to me sometimes like somebody who's trying really, really hard to convince you that actually
Justify his
isn't that convinced himself.
Look at the history, because they have such a long history of lying and making things up and changing and everything else.
I have worked since I was 15 years old, and at the moment I hold a full-time stable job. My children have left home. In the last few years I found it very difficult to make ends meet, and the money simply doesn't go far enough. All I do is work to live. My food bill is nearly doubled. I'm in arrears with my bills.
I know how much of a strain the last few years have put on your family finances, and that's why my priority has always been to do what I can to support you.
You've had 14 years to make it work, and here you are now, still selling lies.
I suppose they've got to plan though, because they can't do everything right away.
14 years to plan, Julie.
Aye.
Our economy is growing again, wages are rising.
No, they're not!
Connection is not there.
No.
He doesn't connect with people well.
Because he can't relate.
Yeah.
He can't relate to them.
Really sorry to hear the position that you're in. It must be really, really difficult on a daily basis. And there'll be millions of people watching this who feel in a similar position to you, that the cost of living crisis is really bearing down on them.
I feel like that. I'm in that kind of a situation right now.
Government has lost control. Liz Truss crashed the economy. They made it worse here than in other countries, and it's people like you that are paying the price.
In Plymouth, husband and wife, Peter and Margaret.
They've had 14 years to sort these things out. They've seen what was happening. Each time there's been a budget, they know the situation.
But we are now making progress. The waiting lists are coming down. But what Keir Starmer didn't mention to you, which you did, Julie.
Waiting list 7.2 million, they're now 7.5 million. He says they're coming down, and this is the guys who are good at maths.
Yeah, they are now coming down. They are now coming down.
7.2 when you said you get them down, 7.2 million, they're now 7.5 million. I'd like you to explain how they're coming down.
Because they were coming down from where they were when they were higher.
7.2.
And they're now on their way down. They are down, right?
Key stage 2 math.
The audience are laughing now.
Why should I trust either of you to do anything about such large numbers of people risking their lives to cross the channel?
At least you can't stop the boats.
Migrants have been detained. The flights will go in July, but only if I'm your Prime Minister.
To July now. You're the one that's calling the shots, idiot.
What are you going to do?
We need to smash the gangs that are running this vile trade, making a huge amount of money, putting some of the most vulnerable people in boats across the channel.
A proper command.
Well done, well said.
One of our first steps would be to recruit 6,500 teachers.
Well said, Keith.
And I think for a child in a state secondary school who doesn't have a core teacher in something like maths is going to live with that for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. Well, my wife's a maths teacher, so I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So that's why we will introduce a modern form of national service. And I think it's going to be transformational for young people in our country, giving them the skill.
Going to help them through college.
That's nonsense.
I want to set up Great British Energy, This is a publicly owned company that will generate energy, that will have investment alongside it. It'll be owned by the taxpayer, making money for the taxpayer, and drive us to renewables. It gives us energy security, so it means that Putin can't put his boot on our throat.
That's it. Yeah, we're not beholden to Russia.
So that we can have lower bills, secure energy, and the jobs of the future.
Oh, I really like the sound of that. I really do.
We go now to the candidates' closing statements.
Either Keir Starmer or I will be your Prime Minister, and a vote for anyone else makes it more likely that it will be him.
It'll be the first time that the country's voted for you, Rishi.
He's like one of those little toys you wind up and then
Just says the same thing. Yeah.
I'll always have your back.
He's not got my back, and he's not got my vote.
It's wasted time.
A load of hot air, that.
Now imagine turning the page with a Labour government that rolls up its sleeves and gets on with the job.
Change
It's the key to everything, yeah.
That puts the country back in your service. The choice at this election is clear. More chaos with the Conservatives.
We had 14 years of Tories and nothing happened. So Labour hope.
Or the chance to rebuild Britain with a changed Labour Party.
You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right. Well said. Well said.
I believe Keir Starmer, whereas I just don't believe Rishi Sunak anymore.
No, you can tell. At the end of the day, there's all these gimmicks flying around.
Keir will have a lot of work to do to get the country like it needs to be, Julie.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's
got to be a change.
With the whole revamp of the Labour Party, that was it for me. I just said to myself, right, this fella here is an honest man. This man will do something.
What he said is that when they lost the election, you know, some people in the party said, you know, we've got to look at the voters. And he said, no, we've got to look at ourselves.
Absolutely.
And see what we're not giving the public that we're serving. And he's done exactly that.
And that's what he's done.
Listened to the people and what they want.